All right, guys, this is what I'm after this morning. I could just weld a piece of metal up over this, but I think, yeah, it's rotted. It's all. So I'm gonna go out there on that green bar, the purple one. I think it's a 61, and I'm gonna try to unbolt this piece off, and I'm gonna try to chop that whole section out of right here, and that way I have it, and then I can come in the shop and I can cut this and keep working at cutting this out, but I don't want to mess with the painted side on here. And cut what I can and get that welded in. So, but we gotta get it cut out first, so I'll start with that. All right. I want to change my tire here first because hopefully I get that one on there. It is down pretty low to the ground. I gotta climb under there and lay, so I got her dug out a little bit, and of course the back one's flat too. These are roached. Like I said, I hate scrapping any vehicle, but if it's gonna go to parts for another one, I guess. This is 61. I said I only paid $500 for it, full parts, so all the glass is good for the most part, and I definitely would want to build one of those ones with the patina, and this thing's just full of mud everywhere. So we'll climb under there. I got the tire jacked up, or I got it changed. I mounted up some stone to bring up a little hot air. I got the jack under there. It's only lifted about an inch and a half. I just want the extra room under here. I hope I got some penetrating oil here. My flashlight, my helper. And my helper, okay. But I'll try to cut it with the cutoff wheel best I can, or I have my plasma cutter. And yeah, you want to play now? And we'll get this out of here, you know. And so what I think I'll do is I'll hopefully maybe this winter I can spend a couple days, maybe have my nephew come give me a hand or somebody, and we'll tear this thing down and get every usable part out of it. The glass I can store inside, and maybe some of the small parts, some of the bigger stuff we can put inside Chili Willy, because that one's going to be scrapped too for parts to build these other ones here on the property. So I'll save everything I can. All right, guys. So far it's been pretty easy. It's 7/16 and 1/2 inch bolts. I'm gonna get penetrating oil on these ones right here. Okay, I love you too. There ones I couldn't get penetrating oil. I was trying to spray up, and this thing's kind of low on pressure, but they came out. I think I reached up in there, and I think I got them all. From what I can see, one I took out doesn't seem like it. I don't know. It doesn't go to none. It just, I don't know what it exactly does. I think this is the last one here, and they've been pretty good coming out, surprisingly. Yeah, this one ain't much not holding out. Oh, it's just a real short one on the bottom here. I think I got it all off. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I love that. I love that color. It's like seafoam green kind of color. I know that's not the name of it, but we got her off. I cut this out. I might just kind of put a couple of the screws back into that, because I'd like to keep the screws with the stuff for the future if I need the parts and stuff like that. Floor is pretty decent under here. It's not bad. I mean, compared to the 61 Rampside, that thing's rotted gone. But there's some usable stuff under here. The plastic seems pretty good here. I like the horn on here. Mine looks like, I don't know, it's really corroded looking. So, hey, let's. gonna owe the dog a new dog bed. I need to get a new one for the house and put this one out. New one out. The old one out here. There it is. Maybe. Okay, I'm definitely past where I need to be in here. Try to pick up the metal pieces. I don't want them stuck in my dog's feet. Battery dead. It only had 2 bars on it. That's doing it. I need to get another battery, and I think I can have her off. All right, got another battery with only 2 bars. I like to run my batteries dead before I charge them. Okay, I think almost there. All right. I don't know, something like there. I don't want to cut out through it. I don't want to cut all the way through this thing. I'm on. Can't be much holding this thing now, but you know how it works, how it goes. There's enough. What is holding it? It can't be nothing that way. A little piece here, I think, on the end. Maybe. Just don't know. I can't see. It can't be much. It's wiggling. What is holding it? We're just wedging her out now, I guess. It doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty. The piece I need is good. I don't need all this, but watch out, it's sharp. Put my gloves on. Put my gloves on. Rattle that thing off before it starts raining out here. This is why I like to lift. I don't like laying underneath the ground, dude. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. We got our piece. I'm good. This is what I needed. This here, and I'll, because it's got all the shapes I need. I can clean and cut in the shop and get what I don't need off of this. But what I'll do is I'll cut that piece out first on the Rampside, and then I'll know what I can use, what I need to use off of this. So it's very sharp under here, but we got her off. Woohoo! All right, guys, I'm back out in the shop finally. It feels like it's probably been 2 weeks, I think. I don't know how long it's been. Week and a half. We had Thanksgiving and my wife's birthday and this, that, and the other, and time has been flying. What else took up my time was I went and I bought Corvair motors and parts in Phoenix, and then I had to clean that and straighten it, put it away, and then I went and got another pick with another whole load of parts, so that was like another day and a half of doing that. It's just been one thing after another. I gotta get under there and work. I think the last thing I did was I cut the bracket off underneath the purple Greenbrier for the bumper. I cut that out, and I got that on the bench. I'm trying to think. Jeez, it seems like it's been so long. I gotta get that cleaned up and welded under there, and do the welding of those pieces under there. those bars. It's going to be above normal temperatures. Today is Monday, by the way. It's going to be above normal temperatures. By the end of the week, it's going to be 80, pushing 80 in Phoenix. It's going to be like 78 here, probably 77. It's like 72 today, and looks like it's going to be about mid 70s or so for next week or two. Nice weather, no rain. I told Jill 12 days, I'm going to be under that thing for next 12 days, and 11 days she's off till through Christmas. And I says, I'm going to have it done, because she's been on me about she's kind of like, well, why ain't it done? Why ain't it done? I'm like, well, I'm not out here, and I don't know. So anyways, I am going to get rocking on it. Now, these little pieces I found in that one pick that I thought was like some sort of puller or some kind of grabber tool, I showed them to Gary, and I didn't even think of it. He goes, oh, that's part of a ratchet. He goes, it's just broken ratchet parts. I'm like, I felt like a dummy. I was like, I didn't even think of that. I just thought it turned and it grabbed, which it does. So I guess it was inside of a ratchet. I never tore part of a ratchet, but anyways, that's what them are for. I tell you, Gary's smart as a whip. I don't know what I'm thinking here, but found it with stuff, so I thought it was like a special tool or something, because I found 2 of them. Why would you keep that stuff? Throw it away. So, yeah, let's get working. Yeah, I got everything clean too. My desk is clean. I put the rest of the stuff away. I worked for 3 hours this morning, just getting everything else. It's got to be like that for me, because I'm just OCD. So it's got to be straight. So I'm gonna get cracking and working on that. I told Jill, I said, you come home from work, you feed the dogs, you make dinner. I says, I'm staying out here. I'm gonna be trying to work as many hours as I can for the next 12 days. I'm hoping that by the following Friday, it's on the road running. So I'm gonna give it all I can. It's gotta be. I got it. That's my deadline. It's gotta get done. All right, let's get at her. All right, this is the piece I cut out of that purple greenbrier out there in the video. And I'm going to take it, I'm just gonna take it, throw it in a sandblaster. I don't need all this that's on here. I just really need this whole side. I don't think I even need it from here, but I want to cut it bigger anyways. I don't need all that, but I'm gonna sandblast this, and I'll cut off the rest of the stuff then. I'll hit it with the flapper a little bit on here first, just to kind of take some of the junk off and sandblast it. This is just the pieces that the scrap. I don't want the dogs stepping on that. And I already got these already kind of started, so that's pretty good. So I'm on the right track to get hammering here. And I like doing the welding stuff and all that, so that's what I'm gonna get working on that. Oh. And I want to say I got my clock fixed too. I finally got my other one from Amazon, and I went ahead, I left the cord and that little right there, that little dealio, you plug it in, you stick the wire in. I left that on there and I put the new clock on there, it wouldn't work. I'm like, what the heck now? Ended up being that part right there. The clock was fine, that's the same clock. I went in the house, Jill had a couple more of them. And deals you plug in there, and so I did go ahead and do that this morning. I went ahead and stuck another one way up there. So now I got 2 clocks. So, and another thing is, in here, this is more time that I spent. I did get it cleaned up in here. It's pretty nice. I got it cleaned, organized. I hauled a truckload to Goodwill, a truckload to garbage. Threw a bunch of stuff away. I put this big plastic heavy tarp from Goodwill from Harbor Freight. I ran a cable all the way across up there, and I looped it over. I had plastic up there. It was up there for years. It was getting funky, and so I looped it over, and then it keeps the dust out. And I'm just gonna quick throw something over. Those are all just FC blocks that are ready. To do what you want with them, rebuild them, whatever. But those are my FC blocks. I'm just gonna throw something over them. And yeah, I just kind of noticed it when I came out here. You know, I'm like, okay, that was 2 days worth of work out here. Just to come out here and quick rearrange it and things, and it turns into a disaster. So I'll get in this blaster and blast that little piece now. All right, I got that covered up, keep it a little bit cleaner. I'd really like to have this thing outside. So, yeah, and even Gary, he's been on me. When are we getting that motor in? When are we getting that motor in? That's what I said. Crack the whip. Let's crack the whip 12 days here. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. We'll get at her. All right, this is what I'm gonna be replacing with this. Yeah, it's rusted across the top of here too. So if I was just gonna put a plate across there, I would have put a piece in there. So I'm gonna take this here corner off the van, Greenbrier, and so I can get at it, and then I'm gonna start nibbling and cutting on this. I don't know what this here bolt actually does. It just, I don't know. It just goes, it was on that one too right there, and there's nothing, you know, unless it's supposed to just hold this together, but it's welded here too, so I don't know. Because the bar that goes up to hold your bumper, the bracket, just connects to these two here. I said the other side's real nice. This side here, just bad. So we'll work on that and get that going. All right, I'm gonna start taking this off, and this is why things take longer. I just pulled on it and she snapped it off. That's all dented in. I don't know why they didn't do a better job on this vehicle. They could have unbolted these and pounded that out a little better. I don't know. I figured, well, you can't see it if you're standing up. So that's why everything takes longer. So I snapped that one off already. So, yay. So as I was under here, this cable here has been replaced. It's under here working. I kind of just caught my eye. The cotter pin that's up there holding it in, it's hardly even bent over. I can grab out and pull it right out with my fingers. That's how this thing is put together. That's unreal. I can't believe that stuff, you know? Jesus, bend one way and one the other way a bit. I mean, they're both just bent the one way just a little bit. Unreal. All right, I've been at it. I'm at the last bolt. I snapped every one of them off. I'm kidding. Just the first one. I put penetrating on them all after I broke that first one. Maybe it would have helped. Didn't do it. Now I'm to the last one here. The deal that goes through here, and it's supposed to go through the bracket that's to this rusted spot. And they just have the bolt going through to the bracket that holds this. Well, they never tightened this. This bolt here is loose. It's not tight, or maybe because it might be one of those nuts that's grab. But as I'm loosening this, the whole bracket that goes to the bumper here, it's just looser than loose. That's how it was. And that would have been the builders, I guess, down in Florida. They built the vehicle originally, I guess. I don't know. Or just loosened up. But yeah, I tried to get the camera here to show you. I can't get the light in there, but I mean, it is really loose. So, yeah, we'll fix that too. No biggie, no biggie. We'll take care of it. All right, I got that one out. I wonder if I pull this off, if I could put a piece of leather down and just hammer that out a little bit, but the paint's probably gonna crumble off. I might try it a little bit. I think it's gonna come off now, unless I missed one. Maybe I got them all. Look at the runs. Look at the runs. Jesus. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like Gary says, they didn't get cheap with the paint. Hey, I could clean that a little bit while I got it out, wipe it down, and shoot some primer and paint on it before I put it in. And I could actually paint this kind of good in here with it off before I put it in, put it together. And look at that, I can clean a little more. It's pretty clean. I did a pretty good job at your cleaning, considering what it was. I don't know if that there is supposed to have a dip in there because of this. I don't think so. I'll go look at the one out there. and see. It's probably supposed to be straight, but we got her off. One broken bolt right here. I can drill it, do what I gotta do, drill it, weld a nut on there, take care of it. It's not rusted here, it's just this part here. So now I can get at it. Well, I probably don't have to worry about that if I can use the one that's on here that's good. If I can, my trick now is I'm gonna have to figure out where I can cut, because I have to be able to weld it back in, you know? I can't weld back in here from backside, so I have to cut whatever I can out and be able to weld it. So I'm just gonna start cutting some of this stuff out of here, and I gotta think 2 steps ahead so I don't cut something out that I can't get to. I wish I wouldn't have cut this here, but I can push that back up and weld that back in if I need that. I would like to be able to, just where can I weld, you know? So like I said, I wish I didn't know where I was cutting when I was cutting it, but I can bend that back up. I can warm that up if I had to. Bend that back up. I can weld another piece in there. You're never gonna see any of that. It's gonna be between there. If I can use all that, as long as I can weld all the way around everything. So that's the trick now. Once I figure it out and start working on it, it'll all come together. All right, I nibbled some pieces out on there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove, this is the piece that goes this way on there, a cross member deal. I'm gonna get that off, and the piece under here off, and this little piece here, and then I'm gonna remove this right here up to here, and then I'm gonna go back. I'll see what I need to leave on here for it. So I'll cut those welds and get all that stuff off now. Okay, I got those pieces off of there. They were on there. The piece off of there, up here is off. That's all off. I'm gonna go up and mock this up and see what I can leave on here. I would like to leave all that on there if I can, but we'll see if, you know, where I can weld and where I can't weld, you know. I wish I wouldn't have hit that so much there neither, but I can fill that in and weld that in if because I think most of this, I think it's gone on that one, so I can weld that in, you know. So because I was just thinking I didn't need all that, but I think I do. So let's go check that out. Okay, so I got some of it cleaned up in there, and some of this is all removed and kind of wire wheeled. Took the little angle grinder, air grinder, and cleaned up some of it. I am going to just cut a slot in here, cut this off, try to start fitting this to fit up in there to places I can weld, and just slowly work at. I'm gonna probably cut this straight here, and yeah, I'm gonna cut that straight there, and we'll figure out what we got to remove from this to get it in there. We'll just do the best we can, and it'll be a lot better than what it was. I don't want to leave it the way it is. It's bad. All right, so I just cut this off, cut some little pieces off. I cut a slot in there. Doesn't look pretty, but I'm gonna have to go back and cut a little more and clean it up, because it's gonna have to have more removed. I don't want to remove too much and have a big gap. I'm just gonna keep nibbling pieces off and get this piece to fit in there as close and snug as I can. Well, I'm taking some measurements. Top, I got 7 5/8. Right up there. And the bottom, I'll go to bottom. They're in there. 7 3/8 on the bottom. Right there. Now my other piece is a little carved out right there, I think. So that's my 2 measurements I'm gonna go from. Top, bottom, all the way in there, all the way up, out. I'm gonna measure, I'm gonna cut that one nice and straight up here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out here because I want that piece on there. And I can weld that. And I'll come down wherever I can and weld across here. So, not pretty looking up there right now, but we'll make her look a lot better. All right, so far I'm happy. I got that banged straight. I put it in this piece here, hammer it straight. I'm gonna go ahead and weld that in. I cut her there a little bit on accident. I'm gonna weld that little bit from both sides. And then I think it'd probably be time to start cutting some of that out. I got my measurements from here to here, from here to roughly there. This one's kind of a little weird shaped here, so. And I got her from the steering arm to here, and from the bottom of the, or the top of the ramp to here to here. I got all these measurements, took pictures of it all. And I'll have to weld maybe that in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this a little bit. I'll weld a little bit, let it cool, and go over there and start carving. All right, I've been welding the heck out of this thing. I even welded, re-welded the nuts that they have on there. I threw little pieces on there anyways. I gotta do that one. But I welded that all in. I'm gonna go ahead and grind it all down. I wish I wouldn't have cut that as much as I did, but I got about an hour in this. Now this stuff here I welded here because it was just coming apart from cutting it, you know. It wasn't coming apart, but I wanted it to be all one piece, kinda. So that's coming along good. I'm gonna go ahead and flapper this real nice. I'm gonna clean that and throw a little dot of weld on there, just so that nut doesn't ever break off ever. It probably won't, but I will anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind all that, and we'll go take a look at it. All right, so it's pretty good. It's solid. You know, I got it all cleaned up pretty well. It's pretty good. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. If I can get it cut out and fit in there well, I hope to get it all welded in there tonight. That would be great. All right, I kind of marked it out. I'm just gonna start chopping. I'm gonna cut. I think I'm gonna have to cut on the other side of that line because I can stick my finger in there. I can feel where this is. I'm gonna cut it over here for that area and cut it across. And we'll just cut. And hopefully we get her. You know, this has got to. This has to be fixed. I don't like it. It's no good. All right, so far I'm gonna say so far so good. This is all loose, but right in there and maybe there is a tack weld from the factory holding it. So I'm gonna take the die grinder and grind those two spots out. I think it's pretty good so far, unless we go to fit it in there and it's terrible. I got it mocked in there pretty good. It fits pretty nice, but there is a hole up in here. I'm gonna weld that up first. So I'm not gonna rush this and try to get it in tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'll fix that hole up there tomorrow. Then I will go ahead and weld it. It's not too bad. I cut it a little short on the top, but I'll weld that in, that's fine. And it's a little bit off there. I'll check my measurements before I weld it to see if it's gotta go that way any bit. In case I gotta trim that top down a little bit, because I have a measurement off of this castle nut to the outside of this. I got a measurement from down here on straight up, not on the high spot where the diamond plate is, but on the low. I got a spot right to there, but if it matches here, it's fine there. So I'll just check that measurement there. Front to back, it's gonna be fine because of this here. So I'm pretty happy with it so far. So I'm gonna call it a day. It's already been 12 hours out here. So yeah, pretty happy with it. Like I said, it's been a 12-hour day, I'm not gonna kill myself and stay out here another couple hours because I'll be wrecked in the morning. So it's long enough. Like I said, I'll pull that. I'll check my measurements here, and then this is just sitting in there, and I'll go ahead and cut a piece and try to get that patched up right there a little bit, and that'll probably help water from getting in there. There's a plug that goes in that hole, and I'll check my measurement here and here, but this one here is going to be right because it follows the curvature here, and that all's fine. This maybe go in a little, yeah, a little bit. I'll have to trim that top. I can see that now because this is just out just a 1/16. So I'll get that in a little bit and we should be good. I can weld the rest of that. I do want to get some clear in there, or I mean not clear, I want to get some primer and some paint in there good. And primer this good, and I'm gonna paint all this blue with my can, my rattle bomb. And then that'll be done. It shouldn't take too long to do anymore. And the hard part's done. So, all right, this is day one of 12 days. 12 days to get on the road. We'll see. All right, tomorrow's another day. Hey guys, Bink here with Bink's Corvair Addiction. Day 2 of the 12-day. Let's get this thing on the road. Crack the whip build. It's, you know, I'm gonna be fixing every little thing on it, but I'm trying to get her done in 12 days, 11 more days. So I did sandblast this last night, bead blasted it, and I flappered up here and down here and got her to fit a little nicer. I'm pretty happy with that. It shouldn't take too long to finish this, but you know, you keep finding more and more things. So it's rotted out here. I mean, there's, you know, where do you stop? You know, you could be fixing stuff forever. But I'm gonna, it's greasy in here. It's got that grease all over in here. So I'm gonna wipe it off, and I'm gonna try to bend up a little piece to kind of just fix that area. And if I can weld it, it's kind of thin, there ain't much there. So I'm just gonna put a patch Band-Aid on it, and do a little more wire wheeling and cleaning in here, and probably shoot a little paint in there, I guess. What I could do is, yeah, I could shoot a little paint in there because I could shoot some stuff in there through this hole after I get her welded up. I could shoot some paint in here too a little bit. I just don't want to hit it where I'm going to weld. And I'll get that welded. It fits in pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it for what it is. Like I said, 11 days left with this counting today. I do have all new tie rod ends and stuff. I'm not going to put that on right now. That's another day. Because if I fix every little thing on here, it's going to be another month and another month and another month maybe. I just want her going down the road and then driving, and then I can bring her in the shop one day and do the tie rod, new tie rod ends and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna still go ahead and fix a few other things. I'm gonna do the welding of the bed pieces. I'm gonna get that all in there. I'm just gonna try to manage my time where I'm not dedicating so much time on every little piece. You know, I got a lot to do here, so I'm gonna try. I'm cracking the whip. 10 days after today, we'll see if she's driving down the road. You know, that's the plan. Gary's on me, Jill's on me. When's this thing gonna be going? You know, Gary's like, come on, when are we gonna put that motor in? How far are you now? And I'm like, not much farther than I was the other day. So, all right, it's gonna be nice weather. It's like 55 in the shop, but give it a couple hours, the sun will come up, it'll start warming up, and open up the doors. And so I'm gonna get cleaning on that, make a piece for there, and start doing what I like to do is weld. And I enjoy this. I do enjoy doing the fabricating and welding and stuff like that. But all right, let's get her at her. So hey, what I did is I had this lifted up. I took I lacquer thinner and rags, a few rags, and I wiped it. There's that grease that they sprayed underneath this thing. It's sprayed in there real good. So I wiped what I could off. And I figured, I'm just taking my little, you know, propane torch here and just warm up the area to see, because it looked kind of still wet. I warmed up that whole area under there, and it looked like a candle melting with all this grease just coming down. I warmed it up and wiped it out, but I was some stuff was starting to catch fire under there a little bit. There's like some coating under there. I'm afraid I'm gonna catch something on fire because there's so much grease sprayed in there. This is grease right here sitting on here that kind of worked itself out probably, you know, over time. It's leaked out too. They have that sprayed up under there so heavy. I'm afraid that it's gonna catch fire or do something or catch this on fire. So I'm not gonna go ahead and weld that area in. It just ain't worth the risk. I'll just end up just filling it in with some fill and calling it good. You know, is it the right way? No, but there's rust spots all under this thing. Is it gonna, you know, is it gonna break apart or fall apart or, you know, because of that little rust spot? No, but I would prefer it to be fixed, but I'm not, you know, weighing my options with catching this on fire. Like I said, there's just so much grease. It's like they sprayed it under this thing, and then they must have sprayed it all up under there, because, you know, I'll wipe that off there too, but I couldn't believe it. It looked like a candle just melting. It was coming out. So that's gonna stay the way it is. It's just, you know, just the way it's gonna be, because like I said, I dropped it down. I pulled the carpet down. You know, this is all warm under here, and I didn't, you know, even, you know, when you're welding, that's hot. I mean, it's warm now, and that was 4 or 5 minutes ago already, you know, and this is warm right in here, because that's where I'll be welding under there. That's the area under there. So unless I pull everything apart, and you know, I'm still not want to deal with a grease fire if that stuff catches. So we're letting that go. All right, guys, this is what I wanted to weld in here. It's kind of missing that. I got it clean here, but if I warm this up, it starts dripping out of here, coming down. You can see that's all grease all up and everywhere in there. I got it clean right here, where I'll be welding around this area. All right, so I went and I sprayed a couple coats of paint in there. I got this all painted up. I just taped it off a little bit, and it'll probably burn a little bit, but at least it's coated. And then I can get through this hole. I can spray some paint undercoating and stuff in there to kind of help seal up. I don't know if they pulled that plug out and just sprayed a lot of grease in there. I'm assuming that's what they did, besides coating all this. Maybe they did. I mean, I got that plug out. Came out pretty easy, not too bad. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and weld this in. And with this in there, I think I can, like I was saying, I think I could weld something maybe if I be careful. It still bothers me. I still might try to weld a little patch on that the best I can without getting too crazy. Maybe not fully weld, at least tack it all on there kind of good and coat it with something before I paint it, or afterwards a little bit. So let's get that done. Well, I started welding in. I got it all where I wanted. I put a tack there. I tacked her up here nice, and I'm lucky I didn't get going on it and really start welding, because I noticed now I didn't drop this down. Somehow that got pushed up. So I'll grind that off a little bit there and there and refit it on there. I might have to trim that down a little bit. I'm glad I caught that now, because that's not correct. It needs to be flush here on there. I do believe, I'm gonna go run outside and check the other one, but I do believe I want to run on there and look at one on there, but I'm positive it's got to be flush. Yeah, I knocked my grinder out. Oh, these cords. Yeah, so I did check. I looked at that one over here too. I didn't have to. I just look at that one too, but it doesn't have to be flush, but it's got to be where the other piece was on there, and it's got to be just right to there, just down a little bit. So I marked it. I'll have to trim that little bit. Man, I thought I had her. All right, good we caught it. You know, that stuff happens. I'll trim that there off a little bit and get her in there correctly. I got her down a little more to where she kind of should be. I got her nice and flat. I tacked her in the center in case something was going to get weird. I had to grind it off. I get to it, and then I tacked her, and then I tweaked this one out a little bit to make it flush, and then the top one's pretty good. So I'm happy with it, you know. All right, we're getting there. Got that all welded in. That gap that was in there, that wasn't too bad. I've been cooling as I weld. Trying to keep eyes up on the, so I don't see smoke coming out of the truck, but I think that's more down here. I think I can still weld something in there over it if I attach it to this a little bit, but we'll see. Anybody who's welded over, I got as clean as I can on the top. But anybody has welded stuff that has kind of like some impregnated, I call it rust, knows it sparks and it's crap to weld, but there's good spots and not so good spots here. But we're getting it. Just take your time. Take your time and you know, if it, yeah, come on. Weld my lift. Take your time, and if the hole starts, you know, creeping bigger, just let her cool her off. Try to keep working off your weld that's there so it doesn't keep melting away the crappier thin material. It's good. I'm happy so far. It's Tuesday. Monday went good. I didn't have any Monday issues. Tuesday morning, gonna have that kind of done, weld that up, and get welding under the rest. I'll be happy man. All right, so I did make a piece to fit in there. I'm gonna weld it in there, but I ain't gonna go too crazy because I don't want to catch nothing on fire. But it takes care of that rotted out piece there. It looks a lot better. So I'll do that, and then I'm gonna try to get this part painted so I can put it together tomorrow. So yeah, I cleaned this up. I did take and hammer this out a little bit with my paintless dent removal or whatever they call it. So I got it a little better. I didn't, you know, and I got it, I cleaned it up and painted it. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was. So, and then the bracket that goes here, no, the bracket that goes here, sorry, the one that goes there that was loose that holds to the bumper, I did give that a bead blast and painted that. And then there's a little L bracket that goes, I think, on this one. I don't know, there was nothing on it, don't know what it's for. I blasted that and painted it. I got the screws all good and cleaned. I bead blasted them. And the bolt that broke here, I did have the one from the purple Greenbrier that I removed, so I have that bolt for there. So I'm all good to put this together. I'm just going to weld that in, clean it a little more, tape it up, and shoot some primer and paint or whatever on there, and call that part good. So hey guys, turned out to be an all right day. I got this welded up kind of how I wanted without burning up the inside of the truck. I did drop it down and felt, and it wasn't really even warm because I was welding quite a bit and I was really hitting it with the air hose. So this is all painted up good enough. Tomorrow I can probably bolt that all back together and get welding I'm gonna get welding under there next. So I'll get the welding done, and then I'll go ahead and do the pull the shocks off, and once the welding's done, blow everything off, pull the shocks off, paint everything, and then yeah, go from there. Very good day. This is Tuesday. 10 more days. I don't know, it's going quick. So hey guys, today is Wednesday, day 3 of the 12 days to hopefully it's going down the road. I gotta stop like working so much on these little things, you know, but I don't know, it's hard for me. I like to keep fixing stuff, but anyways, this came together pretty well yesterday, and I'm gonna go ahead and I got this Rust-Oleum undercoating that I used on the back. I bought it at Walmart. It was pretty inexpensive. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray some in there and call it, you know, call it good. Try to get some up in there. And I guess, you know, we tried. Got her a little better than what she was. As I said, it's not perfect. I'll show you. Like here's just, they left their fill. They didn't even sand it. And then here's gray primer up the side here. And I don't know, that's just dirt or something on there. And same with this side too. It's just gray primer. You know, so that's how it is on it. Yeah, so I got that rattle can, whatever's left in there, I'll after I get everything painted on this thing, I'll go I should get another one made, but the guy didn't keep the paint codes. I don't believe, why did he write them down? You know, he's like, it's custom paint. Well, you should know what you put in it, because I'd like to get, I hate to pay for another $60 some for a can of rattle can, but so there's some left in the can, and I'll have some little priming and painting to do on this thing after I get everything painted underneath. And I'll probably just go around, if I think I have enough, I'll sand that a little bit, touch up a few spots, and just touch it up a little bit. It seemed like it matched pretty good back there. Down the road, maybe I'll go ahead and do a little work on this, you know, next year or something, or later, another day. But, you know, I just want to touch it up, make it look a little more presentable, and call it good. You know, it's not a perfect vehicle. It's not going to be, you know, a lot of money to make it perfect. And who knows, you know, I don't, you know, you see how they did the work on this thing. Once you get smack this door in, get it a little more lined up, but it is what it is, you know. We'll just get this thing going down the road. So yeah, today is number 3 out of 12 days. So, all right, I'm gonna keep working at her. All right, so I finally got this all back together. This is all welded in. It turned out good. These brackets were missing. I got it painted up on that side. I cleaned up the bracket and all that. I pulled these brackets off of the purple one from the yard, Greenbrier. We got that side. That side was fine, but the bracket was missing. So I used the bolts from there. I had to re-tap or run a die over all the threads on these bolts, because they were all kind of rusted and chewed up, and I didn't want to risk damaging anything in there when I put them in, run them in. Ran a little oil on all the threads and screwed them all in there. I got that side also done, and just painted it once. I'll repaint everything all together here after I get my welding done under there. So hey guys, that ends that little project. I think I did a pretty good job at it, considering I've never did anything like that before. Let me know what you think, how I did. Would you have done a different way about it? I didn't want to leave it the way it was, rusted out like that. The passenger side was real nice. The driver's side under there, water must have just got in there and it just rotted it all out. And then the brackets were missing that go to the bumper. Well, obviously the driver's side probably would have fell off, but you know, it would have been held on still by the bumper. up by the front, but the passenger side is what I noticed. The bolt holes, the threads you can see in there were still shiny, like somebody had recently take those bars off. So I thought that was kind of weird. But anyways, I'm happy with it. Like I said, it's not a perfect vehicle. You know, you could be under there welding for years with all the rust holes that are going on in that thing, but it's a little better. I'm happy with it. Let me know how you would have went about doing it. Did I do a good job? You know, like I said, I'm happy. So that's that project. Off to the next one, back underneath welding. So please subscribe to our channel. Put your comments below. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Corvair Addiction.